All right, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing great. I have a bit of breaking news, and I know that this crowd loves breaking news. Our women's golf team is up in Knoxville playing in a tournament, and our freshman, Chloe, her last name begins with a V. I can't say it. She just had a hole-in-one. So the team was in first place to start the day today, so always like to start with some incredibly good news, and that's a good one. Women's golf has done some really great things. They've started and done finished in the top 5 in each of their tournaments so far this fall, which is really good. Janice is doing a wonderful job with that team. But we're here to talk about basketball here in the Watsco Center, looking great, and we're excited about the opportunity to move forward with our basketball programs. Had a chance this morning just to I met with Nigel in the hallway, and he looks fantastic. He is really excited about playing, loves the team here. I'm sure you guys will have opportunities to speak with him. And of course, this is Trisha's first year. She's brought in a number of young ladies, and they're molding their way back into becoming a really cohesive team. Looking forward to that. The twins obviously have come back for a final year, so that should be a lot of fun as well. But just want to make sure that we give good opportunities, good PR for our basketball programs because they are very, very important to us. In the middle of the really outstanding football season that we're having right now as well. As it relates to the department in general, we're working with the ACC and other schools within our league to talk about how we're going to work through the House settlement should that go through. We got some key dates probably about a week and a half ago, and one of the bigger ones will be April the 7th when Judge Wilkin will have the opportunity to sign off and approve the settlement. A lot of steps between now and April 7th, but working with the ACC office to be able to help move that forward for us. And probably, the rest of, everyone is in various forms of getting their teams ready for action. I mean, certainly our women's soccer team, volleyball team, they're in action right now. Really proud of what both of those programs have done. Women's volleyball continues to kind of put themselves in good position for postseason, and our women's soccer team under Coach Masher, his first year, has really seen a jump in their competitiveness within the most difficult women's soccer league in the country. So those are big parts of our program: the house, the fall sports, getting ready here for basketball, and then certainly continuing to move forward with our football program. Mario and his guys just continue to be must-see TV as it relates to how we've been the last couple of weeks. Really exciting. Cam Ward, just an incredible human being and a great quarterback, so very, very fortunate to have him within our program. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions you guys have, and just look forward to an outstanding basketball season, as that is the main reason we're gathered here today.
Dan, with Joe Echeverria being named president over the weekend, he seems like a pretty big supporter of athletics. So just what have your conversations been like with him in his previous role and interim role, and what his hopes and plans are for athletics under his tenure as president?
I should have mentioned Joe in my opening statement, but thank you for that question. There was at our Board of Trustee meeting last Friday when Joe was finally named the 7th president and the first alum as a president of the University of Miami. It was a very, very special moment because since I've gotten here, Joe has been one of the people that I've worked with most closely as we kind of align all the different things that we need to get done athletically. So very, very happy that Joe will be the permanent president here. He's been a partner, an advocate, someone, every step along the way, he's very much involved in our athletic program in a very, very positive way. He understands the value of athletics and what it means to the brand of the university, and wants that to continue to move forward. He's very bullish on winning. Joe loves winning, and it's great to see just someone at his level of university administration being so active in what we do athletically. And I will tell you, Joe's very active in other parts of the university as well. The faculty, while you look at someone from Joe's background, might not be the traditional presidential candidate, but I will tell you his love for this institution, his knowledge of this institution, should make anyone associated with the University of Miami very proud and happy that he's leading us forward.
How do you, I guess, what's the relationship like between an athletic director and a president who's very active in athletics versus maybe someone who's a president who's maybe more on the academic side and maybe a little lets you have more free reign, I guess?
Well, I don't know that it's free reign. I think we meet at least, well, we meet a lot, you know, from the standpoint of different things that are going on, but, you know, at least once a month formally to go through various items, and that's pretty much standard, you know, around the industry, because presidents are incredibly busy people, and whether Joe was the CEO or the acting president, you know, he had a lot of responsibilities. But, you know, I think that the relationship back and forth is very, very positive. A lot of, you know, there are things, given my 30 some odd years in athletics, that he may not have had the nuance to, and certainly his board memberships and chairmanship of Deloitte give a very different view as to how things should be run from a business perspective, you know, from an athletics standpoint. So I really enjoy those conversations because I learn a lot from how he looks at things, and now he's going to be embedded in the ACC and what presidents do for the ACC, all the decisions that they're making, and certainly, as I talked about with the House settlement, presidents are very much involved in that. So just look forward to continuing to have a very positive dialogue with Joe moving forward, and his knowledge and his enthusiasm for athletics is it's second to none.
Dan, I wanted to ask, with Tony Bennett stepping down, and you know, he very eloquently explained why, and just how he just didn't feel that the coach, that he, as the old-fashioned, old-style coach, was not capable or didn't want to do the job under the new way, college athletics. Can you just talk about that transition? You know, Katie left also, a lot of coaches have left the business. What have you had to do as an athletic director to adjust? You've also been in the industry a long time.
Sure.
How is it different, and how do you try to support coaches who are feeling those business pressures that they didn't feel before?
Well, I will tell you that, you know, first of all, Tony Bennett's one of the finest coaches that I've ever seen or been around, and I'm sure he did this for a lot of reasons that were very, very, you know, individual to him. Yes, our business has changed, but our business, if you look back a little bit from a historical perspective, has always changed. It's been morphing for a while. This, though, with the confluence of name, image, and likeness opportunities, transfer opportunities, the House settlement, those are three seismic shifts that are all kind of coming together at the same time. I could see where some folks who look at this profession as being educators, teachers, molders of young people, that's kind of been cast a little bit to the side publicly. Now, inside the tent, you're still doing that for all of your student athletes, and successful coaches will continue to do that. We have two of them here who will continue to be great teachers of their student athletes and mentors, and getting them ready for life after their time as basketball players. But it's getting harder and harder. So I think that, you know, as we move forward and coaches see, you know, how they have to manage their rosters and build their rosters, I think that it's, you know, some of them will decide that maybe there's something else for them to do with their time. I hope not, because we don't need a brain drain as it relates to high-level coaches and people who are important to the Atlantic Coast Conference, and Coach Bennett certainly was one of those folks. So We have to continue to support our coaches, trying to give them the best opportunities to be competitive in the NIL marketplace. We as an institution will move forward with the dollars that are available to us through the settlement to help supplement our student athletes' compensation. We will be at the highest level for that. But we're still working through a lot of the details as to how that's going to work, and hopefully have those here very, very shortly.
I want to ask just one thing following up, just philosophically, and how do you, as the athletic director, navigate or keep that balance between being the molders, the teachers, and all of that you've been and seen all these years, to also having to raise a ton of money in order to keep and recruit some of these athletes? How do you balance that?
Well, from my perspective, mine's more of the providing the resources to be able to give to our coaches to be able to do that for our student athletes. In the quiet moments, we talk about the name, image, and likeness. We talk about the compensation, but when they have their 20 hours of practice during the week and when they're together, it's no different than it was for many, many years. I mean, that's still basketball, that's still teaching, that's still moving forward, being involved in the community, all those things. There's a moment in time, during the recruiting period or during the transfer portal open time periods, where it does switch a little bit to a little bit more of a business orientation. So my opportunities and my staff's opportunities to be able to make sure our coaches have the resources to understand how we can deliver those resources. That's our job. But when you get into the molding, that's why you look for great coaches. And that's why we had, Katie Meyer was a great molder, Jim Larinaga, Tricia, Mario, JD. These are all really great molders of young people. Amy, Paige, who've been here for a long time. These are people who've done it and understand the value of it. And the good coaches and the good programs will continue to always keep that at the forefront.
Hey, Dan, as another extension, I mean, to a large extent, NIL is just essentially writing checks and paying players, money. But you guys have a couple prototype examples where it's coming back in the other direction. In football with Cam Ward, and in women's basketball with the now amazing reach of the Cavender twins and their brand. Can you talk a little bit about just the concept of universities getting something back in NIL, which is kind of rare, honestly? But
well, I think the pure NIL piece is really up to the student athlete, and those are two great examples of people utilizing their reach to help move forward their brand. And by the fact that they're wearing the U on their chest, we're coming along for a very good ride with them. As we move forward post-settlement, there will be dollars that are available that don't have an NIL tag associated with them, that it's just our ability to compensate student athletes. So we will have both worlds working, as we get, if the settlement is approved and we move forward, we will have both worlds that we're dealing with, the traditional NIL opportunity world, and then the dollars that we would be able to just allocate from a compensation perspective to student athletes.
Let's do two more for Dan.
do you see the NIL budget coming down when there's revenue sharing, or staying the same?
Economics will tell me as you put more money into the business, prices will go up. To acquire great talent, because there'll be more people now with the opportunity to take dollars without any, you can do whatever you want with them. How many people want to get into that game with that maximum, let's just say for right now, that $20 million, how many people are going to play that game? And therefore, if you had maybe 10 schools that were at a high level of NIL opportunities and things, now you'll have a lot more schools in that area, so it could be the cost will go up. But we'll have to see. I mean, the market forces will be there, and the University of Miami will be right in the middle of it.
Then the SEC and the Big Ten apparently got together with their Rudy project. How do you think that will affect the ACC in Miami down the road?
I think that the Big Ten and SEC, had their meetings in Nashville a couple of weeks ago. I think it was good in talking to some of my colleagues who were within the SEC. It was really a good meeting to talk through all of the different issues that are involved in college athletics right now. We just talked about a bunch of them here, so you would just take these little groups of athletic directors and say, hey, how are you handling this? What are you looking at? How are the best ways for the business to work together? So I think that, you know, those two leagues coming together and then creating some ideas that maybe will get shared with everybody else, I think will be good for intercollegiate athletics.
Thank you.